Hello, and I'm going to be talking about a subject that I've been looking at TikTok and more people are going through, and it's called gang stalking, witchcraft, manipulation, gaslighting, and I'm also too a victim of it, and it's been going on for 5 years now. It's the it's the harassment, it's the indirect, it's the direct but not indirect, it's direct and indirect talk to see if you'll get upset or angry. It's the harassment that only you know, that nobody else around you would know. It's multiple people teaming up to make it seem like you're crazy or to help each other out into getting you upset and angry. It's the following. It's the it was quiet here at one moment and then now there's multiple people here. It's um it's hitting you with certain harassments, with certain spells, certain magic to get you upset and irritated, to have you feel disoriented, to have you feel wobbly, to make you feel different. It's the everyone ganging up to make you lash out in a way that other people will see it so they can believe the narrative that they painted of you instead of who you truly are. It's the smear campaign, it's the rumors, it's the gossiping, it's the hate, and it's the fear and anxiety that they try to make you feel. And it it's still happening for me, but it's not as strong, but it's still there. How do I make it stop? I don't know, because it paints people to make it seem like the ones that are going through it, that they're crazy, that they're just imagining things, that it's all in their head, that they have an undiagnosed disorder that they never dealt with, that they need to see a therapist, or they need to be the ones to find a way to control it and manage it when it's the other ones that are causing it, that they get no absolute repercussions or they don't get dealt with themselves. And it's very hurtful sometimes, especially when you lose your friends and your family that turn against you because of it. So you've been good to your friends and your family, and they turn against you for no reason at all because they believe the smear campaign that's been said about you, and they form an alliance, they form a team with those who are going against you to basically spread the rumor, to basically feed the narrative that they've been painting of you, and to make it seem like you're the one that's crazy. It's narcissistic behavior, and it sucks. It really does. And I know that I'm going through it because I've experienced a lot of things that other people have said about it. Now, I do get upset at times when I see videos that people say I don't deal with it no more and I don't go through it no more, because honestly, I wish it would stop for me fully. And it's gotten to the point now where if something were to happen, I don't know what's going to happen. And it's not that I'm fearful for my life or my family's life, is I want it to stop at all costs. Is how it is now. Is I want it to stop at all costs, even if it means jail time, prison, or death. And I'm not I'm not to the point of I've never been to the point of losing my life over myself, but how people treat me in a way that they aggravate me, they get me upset, they try to humiliate me as much as possible to make it seem like you're a wuss, you're a punk, you don't do nothing, that you got scared, it's that's why I've been like having a lot of anxiety, not because I'm scared of somebody or anybody, because if somebody were to come up to me and poke me, pinch me, push me, and then start something with me, it's a lot easier to deal with that. It's a lot easier to go head on, but then they would know that the harassment they did, everyone can see it. Everyone, they're going to be like, why is that person doing that? But you see, it's the anxiety of not knowing what's going to happen if I leave out by myself, or even with people that I trust, and they do something to get me upset or harass me in a way that I don't like, and if it's like, if I don't do nothing about it, because there's certain levels to it. There's light harassment and then there's heavy harassment. And the light stuff is easy for me to deal with. I know that they want to rob me of my joy. They want to have me have anxiety. They want me to stay in the house. They don't want me to leave. They want me to be fearful for some reason, and I refuse. And I'm not putting up with it anymore. And it's the light stuff that I can deal with, right? The harassment that I've already experienced in the past that I got over with, that doesn't hurt me anymore, that doesn't get me upset anymore. It's the more blatant harassment that they do in your face to see what you're going to do. And it's like, even if you were to deal with that certain situation, then they team up with other people eventually over time to make it a bigger problem. So they get a bigger person or a stronger person, or somebody that's more fearful. Like more tattoos or whatever. Try to be more scary or whatever, or they team up in groups or whatever. That's not the problem. It's the uncertainty of me going outside and knowing that you hear this stuff, you feel this stuff, and you lash out, and then somebody comes up and says, "Hey, man, this is not what's going on. Are you crazy? You're scaring me." So then they twist it so they can call the police, so they can paint the narrative that you're crazy, that you're the one that did it, and you're having a difficult time explaining it because the things that you're trying to get out, what they did to you, that you've experienced, that because they let me know that they did it. They'll let me know. It's a feeling. It's like I'm empath. I'm an empath. Like I'm in. I have empathy, right? So I can feel their motives, and they let me know because I can. They let me see them, right? And it's like when they do something, it's like, what are you gonna do about it? So if I do something, then they paint it as, I didn't do that. This is not what's really going on. You're crazy. What's wrong with you? And then I'm in trouble. And that's how I lose my job. That's how the police get called on me. They want to see me locked up, jail, or dead. But the thing is that they do it in a way that is indirect, passive aggressive, so that way they look like the innocent ones. Because if they were to come at me directly, then that's more easier for me to deal with. But you see, if I let it go, some of the bigger ones, if I let it go or slide, it's, you're a wuss. You said all this stuff in your head and you backed away. I knew you weren't going to do nothing. And then I start to see, like, if whatever the person was wearing or whatever he had said to harass me, to get me upset, I hear other people say it. And they say it in almost the same way to get me upset. And or they wear the same colors, or cars pass by in the same color that that person had worn to antagonize me and say, "Look, this is what he did. You didn't do nothing." And it's all meant to have me in a sense of whatever they do, because I experience it everywhere that I go, even at home. And it's intrusive thoughts. It's telepathy. Other people putting their thoughts into my head, talking to me in my head. It's a feeling that they send off, a negative feeling that they send, and it's all to keep me in a bad mindset, bad mind frame. And that's why I can never let my guard down. That's why I can never feel like I can let my guard down, because it's 24/7, around the clock, every day, all day. Now some days it's really light, and then some days it picks up at a certain time. Other days it's constant. And so some days I've been blessed where it's been light, and some days I just had to deal with a lot of chaotic nonsense. And does it hurt? It doesn't hurt anymore, because it keeps me alert. I stay alert 24/7 until I fall asleep. I have to be. I have to constantly not watch my back, but stay at alert because now that I'm blind and I'm going somewhere, I have to constantly, I can't let my guard down, relax, because I'm afraid that, not that I'm afraid, but somebody might do something that put me in a negative mindset. So I'll look up and somebody will do something to harass me in a gesture or say something, and I'm already upset, and they get away with it, right? And I'm like, dang, dude. And it's like, all right, now I'm upset. And then all in my head, I feel, you didn't do nothing then. You didn't say nothing then. Were you scared? Are you a wuss or whatever? It's the harassment that they do, right? And I could I could be I could be as straight and narrow, as calm and cool, as forgiving as possible. And yeah, it calms down after a while. They still do it. They'll still see if I get upset. They'll still push it as much as possible. But the more that I let go, the more that I relax of it, then it calms down. But you see, I feel like that they don't leave it alone. They don't leave me alone because they want to paint. They have already painted a picture of me, of how I used to react to what they did to me. That if I was to actually stay away from it fully 100%, which is hard, to not react, not get angry, to let it go, um, and so on and so forth. Remember, I get hit with telepathic thoughts, dreams, feelings, emotional feelings, feelings that I feel all of a sudden, and it's like they do things to let me know that they're there, and then you feel certain things to get angry. And it's like you got to do everything that you can to make it seem like it doesn't bother you, to make it seem like, hey, look, I'm good now. They want to make me seem like I'm a wuss, and and it's like, if I stay on the straight and narrow path, it lightens up. So the more that I go out, I will still see, like, if I go to an empty parking lot or whatever with my family and there's not a lot of people there, then next thing you know, more people will start coming in. And then when I come back, there's already more cars there. Or I'm driving. I'm not driving. I'm not driving. I'm blind, remember? But my family will be driving, and I'll see cars, and I get hit with these weird thoughts in my head, or a weird feeling. I turn around, and there's a car. There's a car that's following, that's behind us, and I'm like, well, that makes a lot of sense. Or it's just a weird thing, and I could stay on the straight and narrow path. Um, but after a while, they painted this narrative of me, and if I don't, it feels like that if they don't get me to break, if they don't get me to go back, then eventually other people are gonna be like, well, you're the one being the dick and the asshole, right? Excuse my language. You're the one harassing this person. But you see, I feel like, I don't know how far my situation went and how many people are involved in it, that I feel like, you know that even if something were to happen, nobody would have my back and stick up for me. And so they would, like, that's what I'm afraid of, right? Where if someone does something, I react to it, other people are going to be like, I didn't see that. That's not what I saw. I think you're just crazy. And they formed this alliance to take me down and to get me more in trouble. And I lose more things in my life, you see? But you see, I feel like that they need somebody to harass, they need somebody to bully, they need somebody to make feel inferior, to get you in a different mindset, to question yourself that you're not really this person, you're not confident, you're not this outgoing person. They want you to stay in and be this person that they painted in your head, scared, weak, manipulative, emotional, you know what I mean? And I refuse to be that. And after a while, it'll stay calm because I'm not doing anything. I'm staying inside. I'm not talking bad to nobody. I'm staying good, and I'm not trying to react to how they react. I'm trying to just stay focused, and it calms down. But every once in a while, somebody will pick it up. Somebody will do the harassing again in the head or a certain situation to see if I'll get upset. And then they'll be like, oh, so it's going to happen again. And so it happens all over again. And I think it gives people an excuse to be a dick towards me, to be harassing towards me, so they don't feel so bad in their heart. And they say, well, he wants to be a dick to people, we'll be a dick to him back. And that's not what I want, you know? And I believe that other people know what I'm going through. They know what I'm going through. They've already teamed up. They already believe the narrative, so they're gonna just do it anyways. And doesn't matter how I paint it. Doesn't matter what I do. They're still gonna believe it. They're still gonna do it. And I used to think, well, if I could just explain, other people would understand. They don't care. They don't care. Even talking about my situation now, I hear it in my head. I heard it in my head before I made this when I was thinking about what I was going to talk about. And it was like, you're crying about your situation. You're on. You're crying about it. And it's like, it's my situation. Nobody understands what I go through until they go through it. And I refuse to have anxiety and fear. Now, there's times where I'll stay in the house because I don't work. I don't have a job. I went blind. I don't go places that I don't need to go. I don't have the money to spend for it. And and I feel like if I'm there, if I'm somewhere and something happens, they're gonna say, "Why were you here? Why were you walking over here?" You know, um, everyone tests me wherever I go, and they harass me wherever I go, dude. Sometimes it's very light, and I like the light stuff, and sometimes it's really intense because they gather more people and they hit you with all these feelings, these sensations like anger, and it's so weird, dude. It's hard for me to explain, and it's like they don't fight fair, is what I'm trying to say. So it's good to know that I'm seeing videos of people going through the same thing that I'm going through, because it's meant to make you seem like you're crazy, you're delusional, you're not being followed, you're not being watched. Because sometimes I do hear the conversations I have in my house with my family. Other people are talking about it out there, but that's very light now. Mine's is, the harassing things that other people did to me to get me upset. So they do that, and they want to get me upset and angry. They want me to crash out. They want me to look like the stupid idiot, so that way I get locked up or in jail and my reputation is tarnished. And you know what I mean, they put me in a worse predicament. That's why mostly I don't go out places, because like I have no fear in my heart. It's just, it's if it's everyone against you and they want to see you fall, they paint this narrative of you and they do something, nobody's gonna be like, well, I saw that. Or you know what I mean, like everyone against one, they're gonna put me in a situation where, you know what I mean, where they help themselves and not me. And I've seen it, dude. I've seen it. And it sucks. So I've been going through it. And I'm just letting you know that if you're going through certain situations that I'm going through, it sucks, dude. But take it as I've taken it because it made me very cold. The things that people do, and me losing out on friends and building a relationship with people, friendships, because I think that everyone, whenever I talk to somebody, they turn it around against me. They tell, it feels like I can't talk to people because they tell other people what I talk about, what I discussed. It's all, get information so that way they can report it back and I hear about it. Or I feel like my life is the Truman Show where all eyes on me and I'm the big movie. I'm the movie and they're participating. And it makes me upset because I don't want to live fearfully. And I'm not fearful. It's just I don't want to live in anxiety. I want to be out and go outside and have fun without the harassment, without putting me in a different mindset where I used to be, right? Why did it happen? I don't know. But it made me more into a colder person. It showed me that the people in my life who truly were there for me, that they're still there for me. And it showed me the people that were just pawns that turned against me and showed me who they really were. And it stopped unnecessary relationships, friendships, relationships, and partnerships. And that's great. It just makes things harder, especially when you're trying to find work or focus on certain things or whatever goal and aspirations that you have. They try to bring it down as much as possible, and they try to stop it, and then they try to get other people involved, and then they try to get other people, so they paint the narrative of that person on you. You know what I mean? They paint that bad picture of you, so that way they believe that, so that way you have a harder time having help. And I experienced it in my town. I experienced it in other towns. I don't know how far it went, but I feel like I feel like it I don't know how far it went. Does it get me mad sometimes? It does, you know. Um, but I don't know what to do. I just want it to stop. Will it stop? Maybe one day. Maybe one day. But if you're going through the same situation that I'm going through, don't give up, man. Just keep going. And it's all a scare tactic, because if if you were truly the problem, then somebody would see you head on, and they wouldn't have to team up with everybody to bring you down. And it turns out that they need help from other people just to come at you. And they wouldn't need to harass you to bring out this bad picture of you, especially if you're not being that person. They wouldn't need to go out of their way to transform you into somebody else, to paint the picture that you're this person, to bring it out of you if you weren't really that person. You see what I'm saying? So they just want to make themselves look good and to make you look bad. It's a 24/7 smear campaign against you, and it's a chess game, basically. So you got to move accordingly on how you're going to win. For me, mine's is more of a harassing, where I get angry, and I got to work on that too. What's going to happen? I don't know. Am I fearful about my life? I'm not. Am I fearful about where I'm going to go? I don't know. But I'm not fearful at all. It's just I want it to stop. As much as possible, I just want it to stop. I'm not crying about my situation. I'm not mental. I'm not crazy, because I know what I've experienced. Um, I'm not an angry person. And if something happens, it wasn't me. So I'm just letting you know. Um, I try to talk to people about it, but they change it. They change the narrative. You know, I try to explain it, and sympathy is gone. It's like, we know what you're going through. We're just gonna change it, you know, to make it seem like, well, you just need to get out of the house more, or you need to see a therapist, or I can feel it. I can feel people's motives and intentions. I can I can feel how people feel about me. I can feel their intentions, and I can hear what they say in my head. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, and I'll be posting up other things that I've experienced, and I don't really care if people believe it or not. I don't care if you laugh at this and you say you're crazy, or you're the crazy one, or you choose to believe it, or you choose to help out. I'm just What I hope is that it blows up, so that way more people know what gang stalking and manipulation and gaslighting is, the narcissistic behavior, and hopefully I get something to make it stop. So bye.